That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. We are simulcasting on Twitter and YouTube with Adam McBride, ladies and gentlemen. He is the expert when it comes to BellsCoin. You guys think I'm the expert? We got the main top dog here for y'all to answer all of your burning questions. If you're not bullish on BellsCoin, I don't know what to tell you. You don't got a pulse. There's nothing about BellsCoin that you should not be bullish on, and I want Adam to also educate myself. Although I've done my research, everything I see I really love, but I'm sure Adam will be able to drop a heck of a lot more alpha when it comes to this topic. So stay tuned to the program, guys. We got a really special show for each and every one of y'all.
Francis Dhun, uncensored.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. We do have Adam McBride, the individual who has successfully relaunched BellsCoin after I think there was about 5 or 6 attempts. I want to know what was the secret sauce to that. We got the man right here, right now, guys. Very exciting times. Look, the way I see BellsCoin, it's this layer 1 proof of work meme coin blockchain where 100% tokens are going to be mined, right? That's how they're going to be released. It has a gamified aspect to it. It's merged mine with Litecoin, Doge, and also BEL, and a couple of other elements. We could talk about the supply, talk about Adam's background and how he discovered BellsCoin himself. It was actually deployed by the same individual, the creator of Dogecoin. So, Adam, thank you so much for making this interview happen. It's really, really cool to have you on.
Bro, it's great to be here. I love the energy, bro. You got me pumped up. I'm going to go buy some more. Bro.
There we go.
I'm telling you, it is literally, this is the fun thing, right? When you have it truly is a decentralized coin. There's no team allocation or anything like that. So it's not a typical meme coin. It's a traditional meme coin, like Doge, right? Where it's fair launched. People could mine it. It's mined like Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's got the history to it, right? It was literally, we could talk about that. It was literally done by the dude who launched Dogecoin in 2013. So it has all these elements. Yeah. And it's got this incredible tokenomics schedule of release of mining that make it really, really attractive. And we see that right now with the miners just completely coming on board, mining it and really making it the #1 script mine proof of work blockchain. It's incredible.
No, all of those things really resonates with me, Adam. I'm big on the Bitcoin ecosystem, and this reminds me a lot of it, right? In terms of fairness and purity and genuine. And when we look at BRCs or even runes, whatever, you fairly mint it on chain. And I feel like having 100% being mineable, it reminds me of that. It kind of restores similar values to the niche that I like. So we're going to break all of that down. Any question you guys have for Adam or myself, please, whether that be on YouTube or Twitter, there is a live chat on Twitter. You could, drop your questions there, or even on YouTube. So Adam, let's talk about yourself first of all. How long you've been in the space, and how did you discover BellsCoin thereafter?
Yeah, I got into the space in 2016 and 17 with the ICO boom. I'm a traditional kind of business guy. You'd call it an entrepreneur, but I think of it just as a business person. I've been in business since I've been 11 years old. I've had my own businesses, and I've done crowdfunding businesses before, and it just made sense to me, the ICO movement. And obviously 90% of them or 98% of them are scams, but that idea of crowdfunding globally really attracted me. So I got into it then, tried to do a business around it, failed. But in that time in 2017, I did see NFTs take off. And when NFTs really started to pop in 2020 with, Top Shot, and then CryptoPunk started, going crazy in price, I got back into it. And so 2021 really changed my life. Got in early in what's now called the historical NFT space, rediscovered a bunch of old projects. And that's kind of, what connected to me when I heard about BellsCoin, in, December of last year. People on the birthday of Dogecoin, people were like, a friend of mine DM'd me and was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of BellsCoin?" I'm like, "What is this?" He's like, "Dude, Billy, who did Dogecoin, did another coin a week earlier, 8 days earlier, and it died." And I was like, "Oh!" It just immediately sprung up. My whole body was like, "Oh my God, bro!
Yeah.
What?" And that brought when we went down the rabbit
I had
hole.
a similar reaction when I first heard about BellsCoin. It was created by originally the creator of Dogecoin. I had the same reaction. What? Immediately everything percolated and got my attention. So yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's just people understand Dogecoin is the coin, right? I mean, it's the second most popular blockchain on earth. I don't care what anybody says.
It's true.
You ask some normie
Yeah.
on the street,
No, it's true.
they've heard of Bitcoin and they might have heard of Dogecoin. They don't know
Yeah.
about Ethereum.
It's
They
true.
don't know about Solana.
Yeah.
None of that stuff, right?
More people know of Dogecoin than they. I say Doge. I don't know, man. I'm from the Caribbean. We pronounce words a little bit different. Dodge, Doge, whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. But it's so true because when Elon Musk started to talk about Dogecoin, like in that bull run of 3 years ago, a lot of the normies on Twitter or whatever who are outside looking into crypto, they heard of that and not so much Ethereum. So I agree with you. There's a lot more everyday users or everyday people rather who've heard of Doge over Ethereum for sure.
Yeah, and when you think about it, so what Billy did, is pretty incredible. And I mean, the whole meme coin season, which we've been going through, it started with him, right? And to think that he did this other coin earlier, just immediately attracted me. And what we did then, I contacted a friend of mine who's a developer in the Litecoin space, and was like, "Bro, can you find this chain? Is this chain working?" And he went and started researching it, and we went deep down the rabbit hole. Turns out the initial chain ran for about 18 months and then died. People stopped mining it. That chain's long gone. About 4 or 5 other people tried to restart it at various times. So people, even like the same reaction I had, they had the same reaction throughout, the last 5 years or whatever. Tried relaunching it, tried rebranding it. All of them failed. There were literally no nodes running the chain. And, later that day, we started the chain back up. And I don't know, 4 or 5 days after that, I made a post on Twitter like, "Hey guys, we brought the chain back. Is anybody interested in this?" And it was by far the most popular post I've ever done. And it was, the rest is history from there.
So what possessed you to try to relaunch it? Did you get like demotivated because you heard others try to do similar things, they couldn't do it? But what possessed you to do this?
That didn't even occur to me. What occurred to me is this is a really, really captivating narrative. Yeah. And that just got me. Like that narrative it immediately hit me. 100%. When I explained this to normies, I was up in Bitcoin Nashville, and explained it to people who are hardcore Bitcoiners or hardcore Litecoiners or whatever. And I explained this story, bro, it just immediately connects with people. And so that, I knew intuitively when I heard the story, people would connect with it because it connected with me. And so it was no more forethought than like, this would be cool to do. And even if it breaks or whatever, it'd still be cool to like try.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's all about narratives, right? And that's especially for meme coins are no different. And when you have the creator of Dogecoin and you got a layer 1 proof of work, 100% mineable, I don't know what else you want to add on that. Well, seriously.
Then it gets into like the layers of what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's like the core, it's a silly meme coin. That's like the core. But then it's like, oh wait, this is a proof of one or proof of work L1 blockchain, right? That's like that's the second layer, which everybody who's in meme coins, still people don't even know Dogecoin's its own L1 blockchain, right? A lot of people have no idea what this stuff is, right? But those of us in the space understand what this means, right? And so you start layering on this, and that we were able to basically make the chain amazingly better, like a much, much better version of Dogecoin, because the Dogecoin developers had to make some early choices to keep that chain running, which is the issues we ran into at the, same deal. It's basically the same code, where the chain basically tried to almost does stop for periods of time. We're able to fix that. And obviously 2 weeks ago, we brought it up to the V3 version, which allows merge mining and just makes the chain, smooth as butter, and allows all this stuff on top of it. And then it gets into this whole new narrative, which is like, we can be a testnet for Bitcoin and Litecoin and all this sort of stuff. And then it just gets very interesting beyond just being a meme coin.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's touch up on a topic here when it comes to BellsCoin with the supply, right? I think this is where people are like, oh, I don't know about that, man. Like, that's crazy, right? So I don't know if it's a fixed supply at a certain figure or if it's unlimited or what. I know Ethereum is unlimited, so maybe this is what BellsCoin is doing as well. But I think some clarity should be given on this topic here, right? Is it a fixed supply or is it unlimited? And why did you choose, or did you choose that? Are you responsible for that too?
We did not choose. this was a tokenomics designed by Billy. The initial code for this chain is it's literally the exact same code. So he did these tokenomics, and I think they're actually way more attractive than Dogecoin. Dogecoin, if you know, produces 10,000 Doge per block. That's so every minute 10,000 new Doge are created.
Right.
BellsCoin, starts at 0 and ramps up, and through the first year, we basically get to 60 million Bell. And then after that, these halvings take place. And after we get to 60 million, basically it's 1 million Bell per year to infinity. So it's a 2 Bell block reward, which is 1 per minute, which equals basically 1 million Bell per year forever. So you get the support of the miners, right? Because they're going to want to mine it forever. But you have this massive deflationary token. And so from that perspective, it's very attractive. And just to put it in time right now, about 40 million have been mined right now.
Right.
So in the next 6 months, we'll get the next 20 million, and then it's 1 million Bell per year to infinity.
Interesting. Now, in regards,
so 60 million is that number. If you're thinking about what's the supply,
right.
60 million is what you're thinking about. So if it's $1 per Bell now, just think of it as, okay, that's a $60 million market cap, right? That's the way I think about it with my smooth brain, and it helps me kind of frame what it is.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly said and explained. Now, in regards to, there's a gamified aspect to it, right? And I believe at the beginning, and if you could explain the Epoch 1 to, I think, Epoch 5, if you remember the figures offhand or slightly, it doesn't matter, just to paint them a clearer picture here. I like that, the gamified aspect, or the game theory, however you want to say it. I believe, if my memory serves me right, it was supposed to be, I think it was 2 Bell at the beginning. This is probably wrong. 2 Bell at the beginning, then Epoch 3, it goes back to how it already was, where you get 1% chance to mine, I think, 5,000, then a 5% chance to maybe mine 500, something like that. And then on Epoch 5, it actually comes to only 2 Bell, I believe, moving forward, right, for all the different various halvings and such. Please correct me if I'm wrong there, or explain that.
Well, basically what it is the block rewards are gamified in that in theory, they're supposed to be random. So when the chain first started, you may win a 10,000 Bell block, or you might win a 50 Bell block, right? It's kind of, it's randomized. Mm-hmm. But we've gone through a couple of halvings now. So, every day, basically at that beginning, I don't know what the rewards were, but it was something like 300,000 or 400,000 Bell per day. Okay. That's been chopped a couple of times now. It's about 200,000 Bell per day right now to get us, to that 60 million number. December 5th, which is kind of funny, which is like whatever, it's the election day in the US. That actually lines up perfectly with our next halving. At that next halving,
November 5th?
Or sorry, November 5th. November 5th. That actually lines up perfectly with our next halving. At that time, the reward gets cut by like 90%. So we're at whatever, 200,000 Bell per day now.
Yeah.
November 5th, it gets chopped to like, I don't know, 10,000 Bell per day. That's crazy. Then in another 180 days, it goes to that two Bell per block to infinity number.
Wow. Do you think, is the hash rate going up for BellsCoin?
No, the hash rate it's literally nuts. And this, I mean, it's almost the thing that was impossible to even believe would happen at the beginning. When we relaunched this, the chain barely runs. We had so much traction in the beginning. It was barely running. We'd have blocks stall for 12 hours, like all this sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And to think, I mean, we had more hash power than Litecoin over the last week, right? And more than Dogecoin, right? What are the odds of that? I mean, it's hard to imagine.
More than Doge, that's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Wow. Yeah, bro. It's literally it was at
Is it why do you
various times.
think people are becoming attracted to mine, Bell? Is it because of the gamified aspect?
It's money. They realize that if they do Bell first, they have a better chance of winning Bell, and so they can win more Bell. But now with merge mining, you mine all three at the same time. So it's Litecoin, Dogecoin, and Bell. You can go for all three at the same time. And Bell is just this like super extra bonus. I mean, it was already profitable to mine Litecoin and Dogecoin together. You tack on 200,000 Bell per day is just like super juicy for these miners. And so they've all come on board. I think the only large pool that hasn't come on board is Binance. Right. And that's just because Binance needs to get itself together, but they will. Trust me, they will. They've had a mass exodus away from their mining pool over the last week as people jump to these other pools to mine BEL specifically, and so they'll get it figured out.
Yeah, I was about to ask that because I think I've seen some glimpses of screenshots. People swear that Binance is already mining it, but I'm sure you'll be able to know this, right? I mean, maybe that's wishful thinking, and they're showing us these things. They're trying to, like, you know, think it into a reality. But yeah, I guess.
Well, what I've learned in the pool business. So if you're running a pool, right, and you have 20,000 miners, individual miners in your pool, you have a reason to still use those miners to mine BEL, but not fully incorporate all them. Why? Because then you get all the BEL, right? So all these pools are kind of slow to adopt. I mean, we've seen it even with the best of them. They were merge mining for a period of a week or 5 or 6 days, and not distributing those BEL to anybody. Why? Because they get to keep all the BEL, right? It was literally hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. They would keep the BEL, but then distribute the Litecoin and the Doge, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And so they kind of slow play it. They slow play it in, and then they eventually all come on board and eventually distribute all the BEL. But that takes some time because these guys are not stupid. These guys are literally savage businessmen. I mean, they are the top tier alpha hunters, man. I mean, these miners are incredible. I've learned so much about mining over the last 10 months. These guys know what they're doing, like to the penny. And so, yeah, I mean, that's the reason we've had massive adoption on the miners side, is because it's all about money for them. It's very easy to see.
Absolutely. I remember with, ordinals and rare sats, right? And when that was a thing last year, maybe it'll come back one day, we'll see. But the miners, what they would do, Adam, they would actually, the uncommon is the first sat that's in a block that's mined. So what they would do is they will take that out, right? And then, like, keep it in their wallet and store it and then resell it to people. So, yeah, they definitely have opportunities here if you're a miner in the Bitcoin side, and even now with BEL. So I see where you're coming from. Yeah, no, this is very fascinating stuff. So another thing is this. How decentralized would you say BellsCoin is? I think I got this asked, and I can't what is your definition, not you, but people, what is your definition of decentralized though? I don't think any one thing is 100% decentralized, but yeah, in your definition here, how decentralized you think BellsCoin is?
Yeah, I definitely think decentralization is a spectrum, with Bitcoin at like the far end, but definitely not completely decentralized, right? It's a work in progress, and everything is a spectrum. BellsCoin right now is not decentralized in my view, on that spectrum, right? It's like on the lower end with, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and on the other end is kind of BellsCoin, right? Our whole upgrade to V3, 2 weeks ago, that wouldn't have been possible in a decentralized chain. There's no way. There's no way we could have spoken with all of the miners and got them on board, and all the pool operators, right? And talked to the lead dev, and he pushes go. Like, there's no way that could have happened. It can't happen. Yeah. Like with Dogecoin, people are like, why doesn't Doge just upgrade to what you guys just did, bro? It's because it's a fully decentralized crypto, right? That blockchain, to try and herd those cats to get something done is basically impossible, right? So we're fortunate in that it's so early, we can still make changes that, affect and positively affect the L1 blockchain.
Sure.
But these are not going to be possible in 6 months. Like, this is not going to happen, right? It's going to be a completely different animal 6 months, a year from now.
So what makes it, like, I don't want to say centralized, but not as decentralized, if you don't mind, for the viewers, for more context?
Yeah, it's that you can get consensus with the miners to actually make changes to the underlying protocol. So, it's not like we have 50 devs who are making the call, right? We have a small team of devs who are able to make these changes.
Sure.
We could talk about, hey, we have OpCat, coming up. It's going to be on test next week.
Literally,
right?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Litecoin,
I'm a big OpCat guy, bro. Yeah.
Litecoin and Bitcoin have been discussing stuff like this for literally years, like OpCat.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Ordinals pushed OpCat forward.
Yeah.
But the way it is, to make a change on Bitcoin, bro, it's literally years, and it's probably never going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
And it's the same on Litecoin. Like, right, Litecoin has been debating, I don't know, ZKs, right? Should we do this or drive chains, right? Bro, they're just so scared to mess up the chain, which I totally get, totally understand. We're not so scared, right? We're like, well, what's the worst case can happen? Worst case can happen is the chain breaks and it goes down. Like, that's the worst case.
That's the worst.
But the reality is, all of us are willing to risk it, because what's the right? Do I want to be a nothing or do I want to go for the gold, man? Let's go for the gold, man. What's the worst? The worst case is the chain dies. Who cares? It's already died 5 times. Let's try and be great. Let's try and do something crazy, dude. Let's run it. And if we're the test chain for Litecoin and some of the like best things that happen on BellsCoin can be put into Litecoin, bro, our job here is done. Like, I would love that. That would be amazing.
No, for sure. There's also talks about what's the Nook? That's part of that ecosystem, right? I think it's an inscription token. You want to, shed some light on that?
Yeah. So basically, it's like the Ordi of BellsCoin. So when we got inscriptions working, people obviously immediately jumped on kind of the BRC20 idea, right? That idea went first, and the first one inscribed was Nook. And so it's massively, it's got a huge, massive supply. People are excited about it in that it's the first, how it plays out. Sure. I don't know exactly. We had this crazy thing this week where, there was basically no place to buy and sell it. Like Ordinal Wallet, those guys built like the first marketplace, but they're still trying to get it fixed and stuff. And it had this bug in it where you couldn't list new ones for sale.
That's fine. So that reminds me of the early days with BRCs, with the indexer and all that. They had some issues with that too in the past.
Totally. And so the price went crazy. I think it hit like some crazy market cap, like $300 million market cap, because literally you couldn't sell it. So the price just went up. I was like, bro, the Ordinal Wallet guys hit on the magic number.
It's like a honeypot. You can buy but not sell. I'm joking.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. But they got it fixed now. But yeah, so there was some funny stuff like that. It's just crazy stuff.
Yeah, no. Oh, that happens. That's fine. You mentioned OpCat. Let's talk a bit more about that. This is my area that I love. You said you're turning that on. Is it in next week or is that testnet?
Testnet right? Next week.
Okay.
You guys can hit me up in DMs or whatever. We have a testnet faucet and stuff. So if you want to get on there, start playing around with it next week, you can definitely start building stuff on it. And hopefully that would go live pretty soon. The devs are going to be a little bit careful with it. Obviously, you don't.
I'll tell you this right now, Adam. If you guys could get OpCat operational, like after testnet, and you guys, you tested out whatever you had to test, and you're confident to put that through the mainnet, I think that's going to be a strong narrative this year. So I'm really bullish on Fractal Bitcoin. And I know there's some differences there. I'm bullish on BellsCoin too. I don't really pledge allegiance to one side. You know what I mean? I don't really do that. I like to see what's out there. And I know the token economics, people say, well, 50% capped and all that. That's fair. That's fine. I mean, I don't think all boxes could be checked to be perfect, right? There's going to be some pros and cons, and that's one example of a con. And what I like BellsCoin is 100%. But that being said, I truly believe, Adam, if OpCat goes live on Fractal and there's a lot of action happening over there, and BellsCoin does it as well, it could attract a lot of these developers to build some meaningful projects over there too. So, and I truly believe, in the Bitcoin ecosystem, this is where the meta is going to be. OpCat's going to be a thing in Q4, Q1. I don't get really too much into the business, Adam, of predicting, when Bitcoin's going to go up and all this. But, I think a lot of people believe it's going to get bullish in the next 3-4 months or so, whatever. But if that's the case, and we have OpCat enabled on these chains, and you're a layer 1 too, so that's crazy. Fractal is like a side chain, fork, whatever you want to call it, and everybody has their own different definition for that. I think both of these things could proliferate. And as I said, it does remind me a lot, right? Fractal Bitcoin has some resemblance of Bitcoin and even the ethos here with BellsCoin too, now with OpCat, right? So it makes them so much more alike. It really fascinates me, but I feel as though you would attract some skilled devs who might want to mess with that, over there and build something. Sure.
That's what I'm hopeful for. And Jack Liu actually gave me his thesis on an early L1 like this. And this was really an eye opener for me because I hadn't thought about it this way. But if you're building on Fractal, and Fractal may be great, it may all work out and maybe, perfect for Bitcoin. But when you're building on Fractal, you realize that you're building 50% of your value basically accrues to Unisat, right? Because they own 50% of the token or whatever it is, right? When you enter a space like BellsCoin, like with a $40 million market cap or whatever it is right now, you can own a significant portion of the underlying infrastructure. Right. So if you're going to build over here, you can buy you can buy $40,000 of BellsCoin and own like a significant chunk of the underlying infrastructure, which is impossible basically on every other. You can't do it on Bitcoin. You can't do it really anywhere else. Where even if your project fails, the effort you've put in, where you're talking about it, you're tweeting about it, you're building interest in it, that value is going to accrue to the underlying chain. So even if your project doesn't work out, you still benefit from the underlying value, right? And that made a lot of sense to me. When I first heard that, I was like, dang, that's sharp. And so I think that's a big differentiator, whether it works on Bells or whether or not, but you can build and still own a significant portion of the underlying infrastructure. And I think that's a huge value add for creators and devs.
Absolutely, absolutely. Is there anybody, and I know it's probably hard to build now, not necessarily, but with the functionality that could potentially come after the test and with OpCat, my question was, is there anybody building anything there now that you know of or are going to that you could probably share?
We got a couple guys. I mean, I don't want to, out anybody. But we have some guys building. And I think it's kind of funny because like when we relaunched it, I'm so connected with the Bitcoin and Ordinals community. I was there at the beginning, and I we interviewed Casey on our pod with Leonidas, and Jake Allen from my company, Ampleball. We interviewed Casey 6 months before he launched Ordinals. So we were there at the birth of Ordinals. And so we're so connected in that space. It's funny because at the birth of BellsCoin, we had about 12 hours where people could mine BellsCoin on your computer at home. And then these huge, miners took off with it using it.
Of course, yeah.
And I know now that those were all Bitcoiners who are in the Ordinals community, right? Those guys follow me. They saw the tweet and they just were like, "Oh, let me spin up 10,000 miners," right?
Yeah.
So we have some Bitcoin whales and stuff, and so we're very connected with the Bitcoin community, and I think there's a lot of interest from builders who. It's very easy to port the tech. So if you're building it on Fractal, very easy to port it over to BellsCoin. And I'm excited to see what happens.
You mentioned Jack Lew. Whatever Jack speaks about, it normally turns out to be damn good. You know what I mean? Like he has a knack for this, right? I've been watching him, and I think he was second to Mint Ordi. He built the first ever marketplace for Ordinals, right? OrdSwap, right? And then something went wrong with it, like later down the line, I forget what. Him doing this Layer 1 NUSD stable coin, right? He's always onto something. So, and then I see him speaking of BEL every now and then too. So I would just say if Jack's saying this, it kind of gives it a little bit more credibility in terms of why people should like this. Which brings me to my next question, Adam. What are the reasons? I mean, you said a lot of good things here, but what are the reasons why, the everyday crypto normie should like BellsCoin or BEL, and why should they consider even looking at the ecosystem?
Hey man, sometimes the silliest and the most entertaining outcome is the reality. Like sometimes this happens. Sometimes stupid stuff completely works and literally takes over the world. All you need to do is look at Dogecoin. I'm not saying BellsCoin's going to be this amazing L1 where, script system where, devs play and all this kind of stuff happens, but it can be. Like it literally can be. And it has this underlying story, which I think is really attractive. So whether it is or not, bro, this is crypto, right? Nobody knows.
It's almost like it could bring together the meme coin people and also the utility people, the real blockchain cats, right? That's how I see it. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not the biggest meme coin guy, but I don't mind them. I know there's a huge market for that, and I'm all for that. But I'm more of a utility guy, if anything. And I mess with memes too. This brings both worlds together. That's how I see it. It really feels this way.
It's literally like Jack put it to me. I just loved his take. It was so, I think of things a little bit differently than he does. But what he said is like, look, focus on the devs, because the devs are going to get you to a $2-3 million, $4 or $5 million market cap. And then after you've done that, the memes will take you past $100 billion. Or sorry, the devs will take you to 3 or 4 billion. The meme will take you past 100 billion. And I was like, that sounds about right, man. We focus on one thing, which is getting our infrastructure right, become a playground. And then the memes, which obviously is the way people connect with Bells right now, the memes will take us, to the promised land. And so, my first, 8 months of BellsCoin was literally just focused on how do I keep this blockchain running, right? How do I keep this blockchain running? We got past that. We're in the point now where how do I attract devs to come build crazy stuff on BellsCoin?
Yeah.
And build stuff. Maybe some of it work. Maybe we get the one hit. Maybe we get the killer app, you know, and if we do, it doesn't even, everything else will work out. If it doesn't, whatever, you know, we gave it our best shot.
Sure.
And, you know, so I'm building that.
It is definitely original. There's a lot of originality here, you know, and the narrative, like you said, and being linked with the creator of Dogecoin as well too. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I mean that story alone is
worthwhile, because if you're about memes and you're about storylines and narratives, I don't know how it gets any better than this, right? And that's how I see it. And I'm being honest. And you know, Adam, did I ever speak with you in the past? Never. I never spoke with you. I saw you on my live chat. I have no affiliation with you. Even on the live chat, I didn't own one BEL until the next day or something like that, because I did a poll asking people, hey, should I buy now or later? Did I buy now? So I went and I bought after. So there's no incentive for me to speak about it other than I see value. You know what I mean? Because you know how it is, Adam. People will be like, oh, bro, you hold bags. That's why you care. Dog, I hold bags now, but you could have got it before me too. It's almost like with Ordi. I was in the ordinal space at the beginning as well. Really was fascinated with BRC20 tokens. Was the first one to speak about that on this platform here on YouTube. And we were minting in real time, man. People were telling me, Adam, oh, what scam is this? You know, when I was showing them already, I was showing them memes on Bitcoin, Pepe, how to mint it. Not just talking, like minting in real time, right? And they're like, oh, it's a scam. How much did they pay you? And I'm like, yeah, Domo paid me fucking $10,000 to speak about this. Like, you know what I mean? So you're always going to get that kind of stuff. And BellsCoin definitely has a lot of, you know, there's a good follower of mine called Drex. Shout out to Drex. He's a little bit skeptical. He's just saying that why are people talking about this? I don't see the originality. And to his point, I could kind of see, because, you know, we're always hearing about something new and it doesn't turn out to be great and whatever. But sometimes when you have that, like, that gut feeling, and this is how I do it. I just analyze things with my research, right? And I use the same sort of like playbook on, you know, I've been using for years. It works well for me. I'm not always right, but I'm right more than I'm wrong. And I go with that and a little bit of experience with my intuition. And there's something about BELs that's like, I just probably can't put my finger on it. I can't really get the right words to say it, but it feels right. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. So I'm going with it. So, yeah.
I mean, it's like people are like, oh, you're just dumping your bags or whatever. I'm like, bro, they're still mining. There's still 20 million more coins that these miners are going to dump on the market, right? Could it go down to 50 cents, 40 cents again? Absolutely, dude.
Yeah, of course.
We had like 6 months of it bumping around at 15, 20 cents, bro.
Somebody asked me price prediction. I said, I think it's going to be volatile in the beginning. So you might even get a better entry point than me, you know?
Totally. I have no idea, right? I have no idea. But to say that to anybody who says, oh, you're pumping it now, it's like, bro, people have been accumulating this for 6 to 8 months. Yeah. There's no like, you know, there's tons of time. There's still time. Nobody in our Discord is so early, right? Yeah. The earliest, we joke about it because there's, you know, guys in the Discord who bought, you know, the absolute bottom, which was like 14 cents or something. Mm-hmm. Bro, awesome for them. Like, you know, but even now at $1 or something, okay, it's up 7x. Good for them. But, you know, we haven't even seen, there's still 20 million more coins that are going to, you know, enter the market. We'll see if the, you know, miners actually dump those. I think it's going to be interesting because now, rather than just a handful of people getting those BELs, it's kind of distributed amongst literally like 100,000 miners. So it'll be interesting to see what that happens. And I have no idea how that's going to affect price. Yeah. But it's still, for anybody hearing this, it's definitely not too late. You haven't missed the boat, bro. That's like saying you missed the boat at, I don't know, Bitcoin at $1. You know, you see those old fucking
yeah, like that one guy with his son. There was one guy with his son. He was talking about, oh, Bitcoin went up. It was like went up by like $2.50, and he sold it.
Yeah, it went from $1 to $5. I missed it.
Exactly, you know? Exactly. No, I totally agree with you here. Let's talk about the throughput, or at least the transaction speed. I believe it's 60 seconds, correct?
60 seconds, 4 megabyte blocks. So
4 megabytes.
It's got SegWit. So
this is such a like newbie question, but I don't know why I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask it anyways. I'm pretty sure it's 1 megabyte. Isn't Bitcoin? How much is Bitcoin? 1 megabyte or 4? It's 1, right?
So it's 1, but so you look at like it's 4 in that every 10 minutes, Bitcoin produces basically a 4 megabyte of data pushes through, right? That's with SegWit. So we have SegWit too.
So the limit is 4 megabytes for Bitcoin then.
4,
Okay.
but yeah, I think it's 4.
Yeah.
4. So
That's,
the throughput, you kind of work it as like every 10 minutes, how much does a blockchain push through? Because everybody compares to Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
So comparative like is Litecoin. Litecoin does 16. Doge only does 4. We do 60. 40 every 10 minutes. So we're 10x Bitcoin. We have amazing. I want to say Luke hit me up and is like, this year we've done. I want to say it's like 130 million transactions since the start of the year. It's crazy throughput. Even now we're doing, blocks are filled with 1,500, 2,000 transactions per minute. So yeah, it's crazy high. It's higher than all the big ones. So you can play around. Super inexpensive. Luke also did a great breakdown of cost, where even if it ramps up to like 10x where we are now, it's still fractions of a penny at the current price to push through transactions. So it's got a lot of really nice kind of variables in there for people who want to just do crazy stuff, like who just want like super light, super free transaction stuff. We can totally do that right now.
Interesting. We do have a question here. I'll let you answer it. It's a basic question, but I think he may have just joined. So Elton Lima asks, what kind of coin is BellsCoin? A meme coin or L1 or L2? Not an L2, but I'll let you answer. Go ahead.
It's all of the above. It's a meme coin and it's an L1 blockchain, in the same way that Doge is a meme coin and an L1 blockchain. These are rare, and there aren't many of them. But we are basically the same thing as Dogecoin. Just to be clear, and I think you've probably heard this story, but for those of your listeners who are new to BellsCoin, Dogecoin is a fork of BellsCoin, right?
That's right. Yes, drop this alpha, because this is important for them to understand.
Yeah, when Billy Marcus launched BellsCoin, in the Genesis block, he wrote the word Nintendo, because BellsCoin was a joke on the Nintendo game Animal Crossing. And so he wrote the word Nintendo in the Genesis block, in the same way that Satoshi wrote, Chancellor on the brink of bailout in the Genesis block of Bitcoin, right? When he made Dogecoin, he literally just took the code, forked it. He says it took him less than 5 minutes, forked it, changed the tokenomics, and then launched Dogecoin. The Genesis block of Dogecoin says Nintendo in it, right? It's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
And so, that's the kind of history of it. It's
That's
really
crazy, dude. So this is probably the first meme coin then ever. Because like if you're like, not you but people, if the consensus is Doge is the oldest meme coin or the first one on a blockchain, well then it has to be this now if it was 8 days before, right? And that's value, right? If you're talking about the first.
It creates a really interesting story. I try to stay away from first, because in NFTs it can get a little dicey. Well, what's a meme coin? Some people would say, maybe myself, I'd say like, look, Bitcoin's even the first meme coin because it memed itself into existence as peer-to-peer electronic cash. That meme changed to store of value, right? Dogecoin literally was a meme coin created as a joke. If you talk to people who are in the Doge community, a lot of them are like, no, Doge is money, right? They don't even look at it as a meme. It's moved past meme coin to them. It's actually money. So, that we could joke about and have fun with. But certainly
Dogecoin is money. I'm going to buy my Tesla Plaid X with it one day, right? You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm telling you, memes are money. As I say, meme coins are money for sure. There's no doubt about that. We may be just playing in the birthplace of decentralized meme money. That may be the future in a decade.
I'm just wondering how come it took me so late to find out of BellsCoin. I believe this happened when you for real though, because I'm normally have a good knack for these things. But this relaunch took place, I think, in the end of December of last year, correct?
Yep.
Right. So that's probably when, it was off its feet. You're trying to get the word out. Hey, this is what we discovered. This is what we did. And then to this point is where the marketing is starting to pick up, because I think it's taking like a second wave of interest right now. It's really the word
what
spreading.
really happened, we had inscriptions kind of early within like the first month or so. And man, that like totally broke the chain. Like the chain basically stopped running. We had, the mempool was full with 1 million transactions. The blockchain basically was unoperable. There was no place to trade it. So, interest, there was a core group of interest, but general interest was like, bro, why would I even interface with this broken blockchain? Right. So I get that completely. And that's why we had this huge long period of, price at, 20 cents or whatever. Well, will they even be able to get this together? Can the devs actually do something here? There's a lot of uncertainty. So, uncertainty was definitely reflected in the price, 100%.
100%.
And I think when our devs were able to push this V3 and we actually got merge mining, that was like people woke up like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, they did it. They actually did.
When did you activate that? Merge mining, sorry?
It was like 10 days ago. Yeah. When we upgraded.
Really? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Interesting.
So that's why it's come back on like the timeline, and you saw it. And I mean, we just had this new wave of people come in, and obviously we had the price run up from 20 cents to $1.20 or whatever. Yeah. It was like, wait a minute, oh my God, it's a working blockchain again.
Yeah. And you think that had a direct impact because of the merge mining aspect?
Yeah. Totally. I mean, it was like, then we could talk about that we've been coordinating with all the miners. We've been coordinating with Bitmain. Bitmain has integrated it into their new, ASICs or their new script miners. So all that work that we've been doing for the last, 10 months kind of came to fruition on that date. And then it just woke people up to, oh my God, these guys have actually been working behind the scene to get this blockchain better. And, so it was reflected in the awareness and attention and all that other stuff.
From a guy who's always looking for like, the next big thing or whatever, the trendsetter is what they call me. This here now, I love it how it's hard to get, right? So you got to mine it, or you got to go to like low key exchanges, right? So the people who actually did that work, and they went to, I think I went to CoinX, they're having that there, and other people like, I'll wait for it to go to like another exchange that I already have an account with. But that's not how you want to do it. You want to get it before it goes to these exchanges, right? Which kind of brings me to my question here, which I don't really ever ask. But I feel as though with this organic sort of like movement it's having, right? When I say organic, like this core values, right? Of the 100% of these tokens are going to be, or coins are going to be mined, Sats BRC20, it was a slow mint. It was fair launch, like that kind of thing. And it collected a lot of holders. Does BellsCoin, because you know what it is, right? Like these big top tier exchanges, they love holders, they love volume. And I'm sure the volume will come at some point once it starts to go to other exchanges. Do you think one day it has traits that could attract like a Binance of the world? And be honest, somebody's asking in the chat here, right? I actually put the title as, BellsCoin price prediction, expert explains kind of thing. So I had to ask, right? So the question is, do you think this particular token coin has the attributes to attract the likes of a Binance, and why? Because it reminds me of Sats in that regard.
Sure. I think we have a significant challenge, right? We have a significant challenge in that we don't have a bunch of pre-mined tokens to be able to pay exchanges, right?
I was going to put that up. Yeah,
that's a significant disadvantage, and we saw it with Dog on Runes, right? Very popular, lots of people talking about it. Still can't get listed, right? Yeah. We have basically the same challenge. The difference is between us, and obviously there's no guarantees of anything. Full transparency, we are in negotiations with literally all the big exchanges to try and get it listed, because I'm trying to move the community forward. But it has significant challenges. The difference is between us and like a Dog token is that miners are earning this token. Miners interface with exchanges, right? And these exchanges, they're motivated by money, right? And so if miners hold big bags of BEL, can they help move the needle? I think so. Right. But, we'll see. I think, in a way, this is the best thing about crypto. It's aligned incentives. And so we have a community that's growing stronger by the day. Yeah. We have miners. Obviously, we have a massive, massive mining pool of people mining BELs now. They all have a vested interest in having it on exchanges. I'm quite sure, if you're a big miner, you're not interested in going to one of these tiny exchanges to try and liquidate your BEL position, right? You want to do it on an exchange you're already familiar with, place you already are, right? So will they put pressure on exchanges? Will they help? That's what we're trying to coordinate, and, we'll see how it goes.
I would recommend, Adam, you guys get in touch with Yahweh, who is like the OpCat dude, apparently. I had an interview with him last week or a couple days ago. You know, if there's some sort of synergies you guys could figure out there, because, like, man, I'm telling you, you put on Opcat on the testnet, you go live on the mainnet. He has a bunch of developers who are in that category there. So those are the people you want to talk to and see if they're interested into something like this. And I'm sure he would be. If you want me to put you in touch, no problems. But he is the right
Absolutely.
guy. Yeah. And again, I truly believe this.
I've interviewed probably every L2 and all this sort of stuff from, on my shows and stuff and my, Twitter spaces and all this sort of stuff. There's so much happening on Bitcoin. It's amazing. Bitcoin season 2 is just incredible. And so, yeah, I'm always open to meeting people. I think I probably have talked to him a couple times, but yeah, it's a good idea. And, anybody who's, can help get us listed or whatever, just shoot me DMs. My DMs are open. Always looking for help.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. We are coming down to near the end of the interview. Is there anything I left out? And again, guys, this wasn't a planned interview in terms of, okay, these are the questions I'm asking, free flowing off the top of my head. I think we covered quite a bit, like the important aspects. Adam, anything else whatsoever that I may have left out?
Well, I think the thing that's interesting from like creatives and stuff like that is, we have the same infrastructure as ordinals. We have, I don't know, 130 or 140 million ordinals have been inscribed. So I have little doubt we'll be the #1 inscription blockchain very shortly here. So there's a lot of excitement there. And obviously that just gets kind of the normies excited and, people who want to create stuff and artists. And, we have a great community that's doing that sort of stuff. Just play around, man. Come over. I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up with testnet tokens if you want to get over there and try stuff out. Like, let's roll, man. Just my DMs are open and let's create some stuff.
I love it. I love it. Guys, honestly, I mean this. I am a proponent when it comes to the BellsCoin. I think they got everything, perfect there with the culture. I love the 100% mining. I love the gamified aspect. I love the merge mining as well. You're getting 3 of these different, blue chip cryptos as well, right? Top 25s and 2, and then you get BEL along the side of that too. So, Adam, thank you so much, dude. Really and truly, we got to do this again for more updates. I got something up my sleeve when it comes to BellsCoin I've been contemplating. So I'll probably share that with you after we're done here. But once again, Adam, where could the people find you?
Adam McBride on Twitter. I'm all around. Just actually search BellsCoin. I'm sure I'll pop up.
Awesome. Thank you so much once again, Adam, and thank you, everybody. Go check them out. BellsCoin is ringing bells across the cryptoverse, bro. And I think it's only going to proliferate more from here. This is like, I'm seeing like a second wave, let's call it here, and more interest is flowing in. The motivation is there. People are doing their due diligence. A little bit skeptical, just like anything new would be misunderstood, but I think they'll get over the hump. So, there ain't really much left to say other than, until the next live stream interview, you're on your own, bro. Later.
Francis